Vengeancia, updated June 2015, here's part 1, here's part 2. Here's the third video in my series Voodoo Dolls of the Elite. YouTube has blocked some of my videos that utilize third-party copyrighted content. You can find shareable links to parts 1, 2, 3, currently, at Vimeo. A pyramid in a circle, do you think that maybe it means something? Read this article Law in general. Read about mind control. Also, check out private prisons. Read what is a United States person. 301.7701-7 Trusts domestic and foreign. A. In general. 1. A trust is a United States person, read more. Listen to a summary of related information from Bert by clicking here. More from Bert here. Unalienable, the state of a thing or right which cannot be sold. Things which are not in commerce, as public roads, are in their nature unalienable. Some things are unalienable, in consequence of particular provisions in the law forbidding their sale or transfer, as pensions granted by the government. The natural rights of life and liberty are unalienable. Read more. Wizard of Oz Emerald City, was it named after the emerald cockroach wasp? Let's consider the topic of redistribution of income, shall we? As with most good ideas, concerns over redistributing income have mostly to do with who's in charge of the redistributing. Toto, I've a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Dorothy. Clearly, the 1% have way too much of it in the current pyramidal structure. Imagine a pyramid inside a circle. This is America's accurate map in spite of lamestream propaganda to the contrary. The ones who benefit from the structure are located in the penthouse at the top, the ones who build this Tower of Babel with our sweat equity are located at the bottom. It's on the dollar bill, accompanied by the progressive march of tyranny and relentless concentration of power in, and transfer to, the executive branch, Americans' only remaining choice. The elite plan to allow we, the dark crystal podlings, is which emperor will suck our essence. Shall it be Obama we allow to hand over our rights on a silver platter to foreigners, banksters, and the United Nations? Or will it be Rick Santorum or Mitt Romney? Or perhaps Ron Paul will solve our problems with a gold standard? On the contrary, we believe the solution lies not in voting, but in the people's implementing massive non-consent, decentralization, secession, civil disobedience, and counter-economics of a radical sort on all fronts, from food to fracking. What gives these people who claim to represent me and you a higher right to our lives and the fruit of our love and labor? Our consent? I don't consent. Lieber Code, General Orders No. 100 by Abraham Lincoln, April 24, 1863, Section 2, Article 31, a victorious army appropriates all public money, seizes all public movable property until further direction by its government, and sequesters for its own benefit or that of its government all revenues of real property belonging to the hostile government or nation. The title to such real property remains in abeyance during military occupation, and until the conquest is made complete. Read more about the corporation nation. Our goal is gradually to absorb the wealth of the world. Cecil Rhodes, The Secret Banking Cabal. Here's a cool interview from Red Pill Radio with Wayne Walton, usury. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government which is the true ruling power of our country. Edward Bernays, Propaganda. Have you tried not consenting lately? They'll throw you in jail. In Colorado, desperate and corrupt cops went to the trouble of setting up a sting operation to catch a man I know, a speeder, who failed to show up in court. How? By calling him and requesting him to give an estimate for a paint job. When he arrived to provide the estimate, the police jumped out and handcuffed and kidnapped him. Where's the freedom that our sons and daughters are being asked to fight undeclared wars in foreign countries to protect? Liars, all of them. Obama included. Just then they came in sight of 30 or 40 windmills that rise from that plain. And no sooner did Don Quixote see them that he said to his squire, "Fortune is guiding our affairs better than we ourselves could have wished. Do you see over yonder, friend Sancho, 30 or 40 hulking giants? I intend to do battle with them and slay them. With their spoils we shall begin to be rich, for this is a righteous war, and the removal of so foul a brood from off the face of the earth is a service God will bless." "What giants?" asked Sancho Panza. "Those you see over there," replied his master, "with their long arms. Some of them have arms well nigh 2 leagues in length." "Take care, sir," cried Sancho. "Those over there are not giants but windmills. Those things that seem to be their arms are sails which, when they are whirled around by the wind, turn the millstone." Part 1, Chapter 8. Of the valorous Don Quixote's success in the dreadful and never-before-imagined adventure of the windmills, with other events worthy of happy record. Think about it. It's a pyramid. The most stable structure on the planet. Does anyone really think we'll succeed in changing anything if we continue along the lines we are going, tilting at windmills? Do you think the elite are stupid, or what? We must invert the pyramid and turn it on its head. Collapse the pyramid. Flatten the pyramid. Abandon the pyramid. www.youtube.com/watch?v=xbkog6que8k. Forget arguing at the city council meetings. Instead, reluctantly register cars, babies, houses, marriages, businesses. Document the coercion you are experiencing in their courts. Stop fighting and complaining and instead lay claims. Line up witnesses to the corruption. Then, sue them all personally. Put liens on their homes, if necessary. Serve them the summons at the city council meetings. Serve them the summons at the town hall meetings. No more business as usual. These are desperate times. These people acting as our representatives and servants have taken an oath to protect your rights, allegedly, not undermine them. They took an oath to serve you, not exploit you. Hold them accountable to the verdict of a jury of our people peers in a court of law pursuant to the 7th Amendment. All of these techniques, involving drug-induced hypnosis and electroshock convulsions, were eventually developed and used to reduce some of our own citizens to a zombie state in which they would blindly serve the government. Regardless of the Constitution and the laws which supposedly protect the individual against government coercion, zombies were covertly created to do the government's more unsavory bidding. Such zombies asked no questions about the legality of their assignments. Often their assignments were never consciously known. And if they were ever questioned about their own actions, amnesia protected them from self-incrimination. What had started out a race against the communists slowly turned into a private war from within. Read more. I know your works, that you are neither cold nor hot. I could wish you were cold or hot. Revelation 3:14-22. http://www.youtube.com/watch?v=pzglds88u50. There are two jurisdictions, two sides to the coin, two paths, two ontological substances, the ens and the esse. Here's our strategy: while the strawman goes down the legal path, on the left, the freeman simultaneously goes down the lawful path, on the right. Read more here. Americans, like Alice in Wonderland, have gone through the looking glass. Morpheus, what is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this. Holds up a Duracell battery. Neo, no, I don't believe it. It's not possible. Morpheus, I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth. What's needed to balance things out is a massively decentralized approach. Consider this. Man A gives $1 to the corporation masquerading as our constitutional republic at the bottom of the pyramid, via registration, licenses, permits, fines, the income tax, sales tax, or other means. The bureaucracy sends it all the way up the pyramid to the elite, who take their cut and send it back down the pyramid via food stamps and other means, in order to give a penny to man B. Now, that's efficient. Worse, globalists like Obama, Romney, and Gingrich would create an even bigger and more inefficient pyramid endorsing the plan for massive global redistribution like I just described, always with the global elite at the top. 14th Amendment: People versus U.S. person. Have you thought about getting off the map entirely and monetizing your own rights? In this new map, free people transcend crony capitalism and re-establish a voluntary system of exchange. Robin Hood, men in tights. Like a modern-day Robin Hood, once having prevailed successfully at court to take from the bloated government minions, you can turn around and buy a rainforest or donate to the food kitchen of your choice. As Jesus reminds us, there are two sides to the coin. There's a pyramid and there's a circle. We can be both real people and U.S. citizens. But the man and woman are higher than the citizen. There's the real you, with unalienable rights, and then there's your clone that the corporation DBA, the government of the U.S. of A, created from your birth certificate registration. The business of America is business. What business is it in? Exploiting we, the sheeple. Do some research on your local municipal corporation. It's listed on Manta, Dunn, and Bradstreet, etc. It's a franchise of the larger corporation masquerading as the federal government. In reality, there is no constitutional government at the federal level, only the corporation, EST in 1871. The states are all franchises, too. Just look up the Enabling Act of Colorado. Most states have a similar act forbidding inhabitants/residents/citizens to own land. You can still vote. In fact, you should demand the right to vote in your local community for a sheriff who is accountable to you and to your neighbors. But you should not rely upon the voting system to protect your rights. By coming out of it, standing in the circle, and applying pressure to the pyramid from outside of it, we can shrink the pyramid. It's a matter of standing. You can sue the people who violate your rights for damages, personally, including police, magistrates, judges, attorneys, etc. What a great way to balance things out over time. Why do these people appear to have a higher right than yours? Because you have failed to challenge their authority over you. You are consenting to their jurisdiction. You are agreeing to be a pawn on their chessboard, a character in their movie, like Dorothy in Oz. While the attorneys won't tell you about it, Americans still have a right pursuant to the 7th Amendment to a jury trial of our real people peers, and to file a suit at common law against anyone. Free people on the land in the Republic can choose to get off the elite's chessboard. We can show the sky people that this is our land, from the film Avatar. What I do know is that times are was ting. We had all better get with the program and use these rights while we still have them. Use M or lose M. Send me an email at charlenemusic@mac.com. Baudrillard and the Wachowski brothers notwithstanding, realize that we are all real people, sitting around playing cards, playing Monopoly, playing chess. Get out of their game, their jurisdiction, and create your own, then, you can invite them to play on your board, on your court. Tennis, like the federal government, it's a racket. Imagine a game of tennis. If you don't want to play on their court, then why do you keep showing up there with your racket? Worse, you show up and you complain that you do not want to play. Even worse, you hire a tennis coach, aka an attorney. This is the height of absurdity. Alice, Mad Hatters, and all, off with their heads. No wonder the judges kick the sovereign citizens to the curb. Government/corporations control what they create. Did the Corp DBA the US of A create you? Of course not. Then, on what basis can it claim to control you? America's founders fought a revolution to establish the right for we, the common people, to be the sovereigns on this continent. We have a responsibility to lay claims on our homes, our land, our animals, our children, our cars, everything. We have a right to file a fee schedule and explain to the so-called authorities that, if they violate our right to enjoy our lives free from coercion, we will sue them for monetary damages. We must resurrect the common people's courts. Consent makes the law. A contract is a law between the parties, which can acquire force only by consent. Bouvier's Maxims of Law, 1856. We have the right to file suits at common law to defend our property, including our bodies, from the banksters, politicians, and all usurpers. Please take the time to learn about what it means to be a freeman on the land on the Republic. If money is wanted by rulers who have in any manner oppressed the people, they may retain it until their grievances are redressed, and thus peaceably procure relief, without trusting to despised petitions or disturbing the public tranquility. Continental Congress, 1774, AMPOL, 233, Journals of the Continental Congress, October 26, 1774. Thanks to copyright holders for fair use for education and criticism. I'm updating this page at M4F with links to IMDb, musicians, artists, filmmakers, etc. You may also enjoy Wicked Game, Pawns and Passion. Here are great videos available from Servant King. Video 1, Confusion of Mind. Your mind. Marcus begins his presentations with great news about your alienated inheritance. He then makes some unbelievable statements that will shock you and foreshadows things to come in the unraveled presentation with 2 analogies. He continues with a caution on learning and what you may experience when long-held beliefs are challenged. He explains the problem in solving a problem using your mind, when the problem is in your mind. Video 2, Confusion of Being. Being. Marcus tells you his story. He tells you what woke him up and led to his unusual quest. Again he tells you some confusing and unexplainable things about your being. He explains what it means to own property and to not own property. He tells you what the 2 concepts are that required further investigation. Video 3, Confusion of Voice. Words. Marcus talks about words, the first concept that led to his discoveries. He shows you the power of words and how you can find hidden things through words. You will begin to see the power of words and how they are used to control you and make you believe the unbelievable. He explains how words will make you see things, but also how words can be used to deceive you. Video 4, Confusion of Face. Person. Marcus looks at one of the most common words used today by everyone, yet no one knows what it means. Neither philosophy or the law can explain it. Marcus gives you one half of the elusive concept. The other half is shown in the unraveled presentation. Marcus insists that your fate hangs upon grasping this one concept. Video 5, Confusion of Law. Law. Marcus explains the basic concept of law and government as you are presumed to know it. If you are one of the many groups who are just fed up with everything or are demanding changes, he explains why your protests are futile. He explains why the law as you know it, does pertain to you, and breaking it will only make you the proximate cause of your own injury. He explains who the government really is, the source of all your problems. It is not wise to let your conscience be your guide when you are asleep. The program ends with a clear example to prove you own no property and more details on how the swindle works. Video 6, Confusion of Things. Things. Marcus shows you 3 components of the swindle which require your ignorance, but also your cooperation. Attorney, license, and name. He breaks down the meaning of what an attorney really is, and how you lose everything by turning away from who you are. He shows you what a license is and why we use them. And he shows you the misfortune that awaits you when you have a confusion of being and act in the wrong name. Exposing these forgeries will help you grasp and see the life you have been leading as they are exposed in the unraveled programs. Video 7, Confusion of Money. Money. Marcus shows you how the blatant lie of owning property leads to your confusion of money. He explains that the love of money as the root of all evil was dictated upon the premise of owning property. He shows you the two sides of money and why your flip of the money will always bring you up tails. And he explains how your continued efforts to make the corruptible lawful only increases your penalty and suffering needlessly. There is a better life than your civil life, and that is your real life. Video 8, Confusion of God. God. Marcus looks at the concept of God as found in constitutional and other legal documents. This is the second concept that led to his discoveries. He shows you the contradictions which the greatest legal minds cannot or will not explain. Marcus shows you God in government buildings, in churches, on money, in courts. God seems to be everywhere but in the law. Find more from Marcus at Servant King.